It's the season of love. Hey, how you doing today? I hope you are having a fantastic day wherever you are. I have a quick, easy, cute Valentine's Day project for you today. This is not my original idea. I have seen this, all over Instagram and Pinterest, and of course, I'm going to change it up a little bit. But I have seen, I believe, the little craft house did something similar to this recently on her channel and on Instagram. And like I said, I've seen, similar things on Pinterest and Instagram. So I cannot take credit for this design. But anyway, we're going to start out with my sheet of white clay. It's on my baking tile. I forgot to mention I'm working with Fimo today. I bake on my working tile because I like to cut out my pieces and then bake. I don't take them off of the tile. And then after the front has cured, I go back and add the backing. I do front and back separate. Not everybody works that way. That's just what works best for me. I prefer to work that way. I feel like I get a neater product that way. So I've got my white Fimo rolled out here on my baking tile. Has a very light texture to it, and even though this was very fresh clay, it still has fuzzies and little pieces of whatever in it, but that's okay. It'll be all right. So I'm gonna set this off to the side. I also have Fimo neons, which I love to work with. They turn out so pretty. I've got I cut off about 2 blocks or 2 lines out of a block of each color. I mean, they're not, exactly precise, but pretty close. And that way I have about the same amount of each one. Mine is very dry and crumbly, so I'm going to condition this before I start making my color blends. If your clay's not real hard and crumbly, it'll kind of condition as you're making your color blend, but this is just too crumbly to work with. So I've got to get this conditioned up, and then I'll be back when I'm ready to make my blends. Love these Fimo colors. These are the Fimo Effect neons, and once they're baked, they are just beautiful bright neon colors. But for this, I want the colors to be just a little bit softer, so I'm going to add some white into the blend once I get that far. And I'm just gonna do this very, oh sorry, the camera's shaking, casually. I'm not gonna cut them out. I'm just gonna, I don't like the shape of that one. I'm just going to form my shapes and just do it by hand. Let's start with the middle. That might be easier. Let's get this one in a triangle and go from there. I'll show you how I'm going to get this one prepped, and then I'll speed it up. I want these blends very narrow. I'm going to be using this cutter, or this is one cutter that I'll be using. So I don't want my blend like a lot wider than this. And I'm going to control the blend as I put it through the pasta machine. I want the plain color of each one to show through. The unblended color. So I'm going to make sure that I have a flat part here, because if it comes all the way to a point and then these colors come up to the point like that, then you're going to lose this color completely. So I do want some of each color in its its pure form. So this one, instead of being a triangle like that, is going to be more of a, what's it called? Is it a right angle triangle? Is that what it's called? And then, like I said, I mean, this is very messy. I'm not being particularly neat here, being kind of down and dirty with it, but I don't need it to be extremely neat. Could also do the Cindy Leit's teardrop method. It's basically the same thing as this. I'm just starting out with it flat instead of it in a teardrop, but it's basically the same thing. I really should have just went ahead and did the teardrop method. It would have been a lot quicker, and I fussed around with this way too much. Then take my white. That would be about, I'm trying to decide if I want it like halfway up the color, or I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how much I want, but I can always add more, but I can't take it away, right? Let's just go half of the width of this strip. See? I think that'll work. But these colors are so bright when they bake up, and they're absolutely beautiful. But I want them a little bit softer. I'd actually like for them to be kind of like they are now. They're very bright on camera, and they're bright in person too, but it's more of a, I don't know, it's a little bit softer, like more of a pastel type neon. So this white will just we'll lighten it up a little bit so that when it bakes it won't be quite so dark and quite so bright. So that's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to get all the rest of these done, and then I will start blending them up. So I've got them spread out, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take my printer paper, gently rub it down. You know, just try to get the air bubbles that are between the tile and the clay out. Get the clay fairly smooth, stuff like that. But I don't want it like super burnished and stuck down. Now, the plan is to cut hearts out of these color blends and add on my white background. Now, I don't have tiny heart cutters. I want the hearts pretty small, and I think I want different sizes also, instead of them just being all the same size. But as far as heart cutters, this is the smallest one I have, and this is not the shape that I want. I want more of this kind of shape here. This is the smallest one I have of these. Look, a lot of times you can improvise with your cutters, and you can use your cutters and just alter them a little bit to give you what you need. I tested it out and I found out this cute little flower cutter that I'm dropping on the floor. Yeah, I caught it in my lap. Okay. If I cut this into 4 sections, then I get 4 little hearts out of it, right? 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I've got these 3 different sizes. See, if this was a heart cutter, that would be way too big for what I'm doing. But once I cut it down, it's not that big. So that gives me my size variation. And these right here, you know, just a 1/4 of that is going to be teeny tiny. So that's nice. That is why I wanted my color blends small, because I want to be able to capture different colors in my cut. And we'll try to get that as straight as I can. Try to make sure I come out in the points the best I can. Okay, if I cut this one, okay, yeah. Trying to figure out where I got to cut. And now I have 4 hearts. And the blends, instead of just going from this side to this side or this side to you know, they're going in different directions. Now once I take these up, I'm gonna have this little right there, that little sharp corner thingy, but that's not a big deal to smooth that out. Matter of fact, I can even take care of it here now. Yeah, just get that little corner right there off. I mean, sure, this is a tiny bit fussier than it would be if I just had the appropriate size heart cutters. But, I mean, we don't always have the money to just run out and buy every little cutter that we need. And sometimes you don't have time to wait for it, you know, because it's getting down to the last minute for Valentine's Day here. So, you know, a lot of times you can make the cutters that you have work for what you need. Another thing you can use if you don't have a flower cutter like this or similar to this, you can use a teardrop cutter and put 2 teardrops together, and that will give you a heart shape too. I got all my hearts cut out. If you look, this is basically a 4-leaf clover. So St. Patrick's Day will be coming up soon, and if you don't have a 4-leaf clover cutter or 3-leaf cutter, with whichever kind of clover you want to make, you can do it like this with a 8-point flower like this. Cut it up just like I did these. You take that apart and you've got, you know, a 3 or 4-leaf clover. Or if you have tiny heart cutters, you can cut out 4 hearts or 3 hearts or whatever and put them together and make your clover. So that's just something to keep in mind. Another way that you can make your cutters more versatile. Right, so there's one of them. And then if we just take it apart, we got our 4 little hearts. Like I said, no matter how well they are cut, there's gonna be little, you know, on some of them, they're gonna have to have a little bit of cleaning up no matter what. Okay. I think this is gonna be really cute. And yes, it's more work, but I think it's gonna be cuter doing the color blends versus, you know, just a solid color. And two, that's just, you know, another way to make them different than everybody else. I normally don't do the trendy thing, you know, like I normally don't do the popular stuff. I just kind of do what I want to do. But this time, those two things just happen to coincide. And I intend for most of my tutorials to be more on the intermediate or advanced side, I guess, and not so much beginner friendly. Not that I have anything against you beginners. Hey, we all got to start somewhere, right? I just enjoy doing the more advanced stuff, and I'm just kind of filming what I'm doing, you know. I do this as a business, and that's what I make for my customers, you know. So what I'm making for my business is what I'm filming. I'm not just making projects just to be filming them, if that makes sense. So therefore, I don't want everything I do to be beginner projects. Another reason I don't really intend to film a lot of beginner projects is that there are so many channels on YouTube already where you can find that type of material, right? And not all of you are beginners, and some of you are going to want to learn, you know, something a little more advanced. I mean, not that I'm like a master by any means, but I'm not a beginner either. And like I said, I know many of you are, and there are lots and lots of channels on YouTube that are, you know, have a lot of beginner friendly projects. But even if you are a beginner, it doesn't hurt, you know, to watch something. Oh, I missed some. To watch something that is a little more advanced, because you will get there one day, you know. But the more of those videos that I watched, even though I had no idea what they were talking about, the more that I watched, the more I learned. But anyway, I kind of went off on I got off track there. But I guess I said all that to say is I thought you might want something a little different from me this time. Do something a little bit simpler. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. It's the middle of the night for me, okay? Okay, I know I could have made this so much easier for myself had I pulled up the skeleton before I released the hearts from the tile. I did have a reason for doing that, I promise. But that reason turned out to be irrelevant for what I was doing here. So yeah, just ignore that part. Just pretend I pulled the skeleton first, okay? Here's my pretty hearts. And I'm gonna bring over my big white sheet and get started placing these on. Like I said, this is a very beginner friendly project, but I wanted to make not only for the beginners, but like people that are like me that can do more advanced stuff, but maybe you just wanted something quick and easy to do, you know. So I thought adding the blend to this design would you know, give it a little twist, give you a little more something to do. But if you are like a true beginner, you could completely skip the blend and just do this in solid colors. It would make it a lot easier, and it would still turn out beautifully. And there again, even if you're not a beginner and you just don't have a lot of time, skip the blends and just cut out hearts of solid colors, and it's still going to be super cute. So I'm gonna get started on getting them placed on. Okay, I'm ready to start putting my hearts on. And my plan is to start with the largest ones first to make sure that I get those spread out evenly across the sheet. And all of these are going to need touching up, right? Some of them more than others. Some of them I'm going to have to cut these little corners off here like that, or I may have to scrape or cut the fuzzies off. I'll get me a little pile of scrap clay going right here where I can stick that on there. Some of them I will be able to just fix them up with my fingers, you know, like just kind of with the fingers. I've also got me some silicone sculpting tools here, because some of them I may need to just kind of fix up with that. Either way, not a big deal. You know, I have seen some people just cut them out, and because anytime you use a cutter, you're gonna have some little fuzzies on there. The only way I know to avoid that is to let the piece stick in the cutter, but that's a whole, I didn't want to deal with that. So, but I have seen some people just not worry about the fuzzies and just kind of place it on there without getting rid of those. But I think it looks a lot better, a lot neater, a lot more professional if you take those few extra minutes and just clean this piece up before placing it on your slab. All right, I'm gonna spread these out. I will probably maybe do all of one color first in the big ones. I don't know, but I just know I want my, especially the big ones, I want them spread out as evenly as I can get them. Also want them random though at the same time, and I want them facing in different directions. Okay, now that I have gotten started on this, and I'm looking, I picked out all of my large hearts and sat them here. This is too many of the big ones. I'm not going to use all these big ones. So when you're placing pieces on a slab like this, don't press them on there, just lightly, just lay them on there or lightly touch them down. That way, if you need to remove them, like I did, you can, or even if you just need to shift them a little bit, like you're placing another piece and maybe there's not enough room and you want to shift this one over just a little bit. If you don't have them pressed on there hard, then you're able to do that. Okay, I still think I could have used a few more of the small hearts. One good way to tell when you're working on a pattern like this, if you're not sure if you've got enough, or you know what I'm saying, take your cutter. It doesn't have to be the exact one that you're going to use, but I mean, if you know what cutter you're going to use, that would be even better. But I mean, I know the general size of what I'm gonna make, you know, because my earrings are usually pretty big, so I have an idea of what size I normally use. The best thing to do is just take your cutter and just lay it on there and look at it that way, because it's hard when you're looking at this as a whole. It's kind of hard to picture what it's going to look like when it's just in this smaller piece. So if you just gently lay your cutter on the top, or even hold it over the top, and that gives you a better visual of what it'll look like once it's cut out. Okay, so I was planning on doing this anyway, but I do need some filler. So I took some of those leftovers and I just took some pieces and flattened them down on this other tile, and a few hearts that I still had left over. And then I'm going to use this tiny circle and this circle, and I'm going to cut me out 2 different size dots, and the dots are what I'm going to use to fill in around the hearts. Okay, not that it's really important or anything, but I did use 3 cutters here instead of 2. I went up 1 size and used that so I'd have a little bit more variation. Oh, and something else that I wanted to tell you, back in November I made a video about my 500 subscriber giveaway, and then I didn't have the drawing as soon as I had intended, but I've done that now. The video is up, so if you entered that giveaway, make sure you go watch the video with the drawing, because you only have until Valentine's Day to contact me. I finally have everything placed on here. That was kind of a long process, but I enjoyed it. It took a little longer than I expected, but it was quite meditative, I guess. I don't know. It was enjoyable to me to just sit here and relax and just place, especially the dots. I don't know why I found the dots so satisfying to just sit here and place those on. But anyway, so the next step is to press these in with the printer paper. And I was talking to you when I did this originally, but I tell you what, I had to cut out the sound and do the voiceover, because the sound of my hands rubbing across that paper, oh, it was terrible. Anyway, this needs to be done very, very gently, because I still want the hearts raised up off of the surface. I don't want them flattened down into the surface. Now that is something you can do if you want to, but if you do that, you need to keep in mind that your hearts or whatever you're using needs to be spread out a little bit further, because they're gonna they're gonna spread as you press it in. And if they were as close together as these are and you pressed it down flat, then they're gonna run into each other. So that's one thing you need to keep in mind if you intend to press your design down flat. So I am very, very gently going over this, and I'm checking it very often to make sure that it's not pressing in further than I want it to. Alright. I still think I need to go a little bit further. I don't want to go too far, especially not too far too soon, you know? I think maybe that's as far as I want to go here. I think I want to test out a couple of things here. I know my little circles, I want to use my ball tools on those and make imprints. So I'm gonna do that right quick. Well, probably not right quick, but I'm just gonna take, let me find where we're at here. That is, yeah, that's one of the big ones. Just gonna take and put, just do that, just press it down. I don't want to press really hard. I'm just doing a light indentation. The next thing is, I'm thinking I want to do something to the hearts, like just to give them a little texture or something maybe. but I'm not sure what I want to do. I'm not sure if they're going to look good, if I need to do anything to them, if I need to just leave them alone. But I'm going to play with some that are like right on the corner that I know probably aren't going to be used, and see what I think. Okay, one thing I could do is just make a little indent right there, and I think I will do that. You can't see that, can you? I think at a minimum I'll do that. Let's put the little indent right there, like that. That gives it a little something extra. Another option would be to take my round silicone tool and just kind of press it out a little bit like that, like I would a flower. Yeah, don't like that. Try the kind of the same principle here, but with the little nut pick. And instead of going from here out, I'm going to go just like right there. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of cute, but then I think it looks a little too much like a flower petal that way. So probably the little indent here will be the only thing that I do. And then let's decide if this or this works better to make my little I don't know. Is that even worth taking the time? Does it make that make enough difference? Yeah, it does. I think. Yeah, for me it does. I've got all of my little dots indented and all the little creases put in my hearts, and I think I'm done. I think that does it for me. It's amazing the difference just those tiny little adjustments can make. I don't know how it's showing up on camera, but in person, just those two little things, and the dots there and the little indent there, made a very big difference in the overall look of this. So I think I'm satisfied with it now. So it's time to decide which cutters I want, get them out, and make some beautiful jewelry out of it. I'll post the finished jewelry on Facebook and Instagram, but if you entered the drawing for the giveaway, make sure you go watch this video right now, because like I said, you have until Valentine's Day to contact me if you won, which, spoiler alert, you probably did. Okay, and if you did not enter the giveaway, then go watch this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Okay, thanks, bye!